Today we will take a new topic from toxicology. Next group of poisons from toxicology, that is somniferous poisons. Somniferous poisons are also called as narcotics. They are also called as narcotic poisons. Therapeutically, means in the treatment part, they are usually used to reduce the pain and induce the sleep. So narcotics are having two types of action. One, they reduce the pain, they can be used as analgesics, and also they induce the sleep. So two functions of narcotics. They are just like painkillers. They will have analgesic action and induce the sleep. That's why they are very widely used and they are easily available also in the medical stores and all. These narcotics used for relieving the pain and induce sleep. So from this group, so first poison that we will see today is opium and morphine. Opium and morphine. So opium is a dried juice. Opium is a dried juice obtained by incision of unripe capsules of white poppy. I will show you the image of that plant and its seed that we'll see in the next slide. So opium is a dried juice obtained by incision of unripe capsules of white poppy. It grows in India. And alkaloids, what are the contents? What are the contents of opium? The alkaloids are divided into two groups: phenanthrene, which is having more of narcotic action, and isoquinoline, which is having analgesic action. So phenanthrene is having mainly narcotic action and isoquinoline is known for its analgesic action. So what are its contents of this phenanthrene group of alkaloids? Morphine, codeine and thebaine. Morphine, codeine and thebaine, they are having narcotic action, they will induce the sleep. And isoquinoline, which are having analgesic action, and its contents its examples are papaverine, narcotin. They are having no narcotic properties but only analgesic action. Now poppy seeds you might have heard, or you might have seen so many times in your home, also in the kitchen. Poppy seeds also called as khaskhas, that we use for sprinkling over the sweets. अनारशाला लावतो ना आपण दिवाळीमध्ये, अनारशाच्या वर टाकतो ती खसखस. सो पॉपी सीड्स, दे आर क्रीमिश इन कलर, विच कंटेन्स नो opium. They are harmless and are used as a food, and particularly to sprinkle over the sweets. Now what is crude opium? Crude opium is a dark brown when fresh, and when it is kept open it turns black. It is dark brown in color when it is fresh, but on keeping open it will turn black. It is having characteristic smell and bitter taste. Kadu astate, it is having bitter taste. Alkaloids used in the medicine are morphine and codeine for relief of the pain. खूप सिव्हिअर पेन असेल एखाद्या पेशंटला, पर्टिक्युलरली इन द पेन ऑफ कॅन्सर, मॅलिग्नन्सीची पेन असेल. सो इन सिव्हिअर पेनफुल कंडिशन्स or even after the surgery, these morphine and codeine are used for these alkaloids used in the medicine mainly are morphine and codeine, which are having strong analgesic action, and they are narcotic as well as sedatives, and their poisoning can occur. If they are used irrationally or in large dose, they can cause poisonous effect. Now you can see the image. You can see the photos of this opium. So opium, these are some of the, I have got some images of opium from this fruit. These seeds are obtained when they are dried. Now we will see the signs and symptoms. Very important, very commonly asked as a separate question, signs and symptoms of opium poisoning. So symptoms of opium poisoning are those of morphine because of high morphine content. Opium मध्ये morphine असतं. Opium, the morphine is the important content, large amount of morphine is present in the opium. So symptoms of opium poisoning are those of morphine poisoning because of high morphine content, and symptoms will start half an hour to 1 hour after the injection or within few minutes after injection. Morphine tablet form मध्ये पण असतं आणि इंजेक्शन फॉर्म मध्ये पण असतं. So when it is injected, the injection will give rise to the symptoms within a few minutes, and if it is ingested, if it has been taken orally, the symptoms will begin half an hour to 1 hour after the injection. Now the opium and morphine poisoning will pass through the three stages. First is stage of excitement. It may be absent if the dose is very large. So if the large dose of morphine has been taken, this stage of excitement will be absent, and patient will immediately go into the stage of stupor or sopor, what we call. In stage of excitement, there will be pleasurable mental excitement for short duration. So patient will feel pleasant, excited. There will be mental excitement, laughter, hallucination, increased heart rate. All these are because of stimulant effect of many of the organs and even in the central nervous system. So there will be laughter, hallucination, काहीतरी इमेजिनरी गोष्टी दिसतात त्याला, increase heart rate, and in children there can be convulsions. If in children it has been given in large dose, it can initiate the convulsion. Now this stage of excitement will remain for short period and will be followed by stage of sopor. So stage of sopor, where there will be weariness, headache, giddiness, sense of weight in the limb, आता हातपाय जड होतात, and there is strong tendency to sleep. There is strong tendency to sleep, from where from this stage patient can be aroused by strong external stimuli. Pupils will be contracted, face and lips will be cyanosed, there will be cyanosed, itching sensation on the skin, itching of the skin, and pulse and respiration will be normal. In the early stage, the pulse and respiration may be high because of excitement, but as the person goes from stage of excitement to stage of sopor, the pulse and respiration will come down. Now very important is stage of narcosis. Stage of narcosis, what happens here? Now in this stage the patient will go into deep coma, from which patient cannot be aroused. The patient will become unconscious, will go into deep coma. All the muscles will be relaxed, reflexes will be abolished, pupils will be now pinpoint pupil, not reacting to light. Agdi chote constricted pupil. So pupils will become very small, call it as pinpoint pupil, not reacting to the light. Blood pressure will fall, blood pressure will also go down. Breathing is very slow, it is hardly 2 to 4 respirations per minute. The respiration is sighing and irregular, called as Cheyne-Stokes breathing. Now the body temperature is low, because everything is low and slow. Body temperature will also go down, skin will become cold, and it is bathed in the sweat. Skin is bathed in the sweat, there is profuse sweating in the stage of narcosis. Then there may be frothing from the mouth, and the coma will become more and more deep or more and more severe. Now death from asphyxia because of respiratory paralysis. All the muscles are getting paralyzed and relaxed. That's why there will be paralysis of the respiratory muscles also. So patient will have difficulty in breathing, and person will die because of respiratory paralysis. That will lead to asphyxia and ultimately death. Death may be preceded by twitching and convulsions. In some patients there may be convulsions just before the death. So got the 3 stages. First is stage of excitement, will not occur if the dose is very large, and this stage of excitement is characterized by pleasurable mental excitement. Patient ला असं छान मस्त excited वाटतं, laughter, hallucination and all will be followed by sopor, and will be followed by stage of narcosis, where the patient will go into deep coma. Now how will you diagnose? The patient who has taken this opium or morphine in large dose will be in a state of unconsciousness. So it will be very difficult to diagnose. It will be very difficult. Patient will not be able to tell because he is unconscious or maybe in a state of coma. So you may not get what the patient has consumed or injected or ingested. So it will be very difficult to diagnose clinically. So in deep coma, from which patient cannot be aroused, all the muscles are relaxed, reflexes are abolished, pinpoint pupils not reacting to light is characteristic symptom. There will be Cheyne-Stokes breathing, irregular and very slow Cheyne-Stokes breathing. All the secretions are suppressed or suspended except skin, because patient will have profuse perspiration with low body temperature. Now just I told you, the patient with morphine poisoning has been brought to the hospital with unconsciousness or even in a stage of coma. So how will you come to know? That it is a case of morphine poisoning only? But there are certain differential diagnoses which can cause unconsciousness. So first is CVA. What is CVA? Cerebrovascular accident. In simple words, it can be called as stroke. It can be called as stroke. So patient can be in a state of stroke. What do you mean by stroke? Disturbed blood supply to the central nervous system that causes paralysis. So now depending upon which part of the brain has been affected, accordingly the symptoms will be there. Or even the patient can be in a state of unconsciousness if the higher centers have been affected by disturbed blood supply. That may be because of hemorrhage or maybe because of infarct. What we call it as cerebral infarct. Then second cause of unconsciousness can be uremia, severe uremia or diabetic coma, complicated diabetes where the patient will have higher centers are involved or nervous system is involved, and in uremia central nervous system is first to be affected, so patient will be in a state of unconsciousness, what we call it as uremic coma or diabetic coma. Alcohol poisoning, if the patient has consumed large amount of alcohol and has become unconscious, that can be easily detected by smell. Organophosphorus poisoning, in organophosphorus poisoning also the pupils are pinpoint and patient is unconscious, again it can be detected by smell. It is having characteristic kerosene like smell. Then carbolic acid poisoning, here also patient can be in unconscious condition. Epileptic coma means patient might have first suffered from epilepsy or convulsions, and following the convulsion patient has become unconscious. Or lastly hysterical coma, so it can be because of some psychological disturbances, patient can be in a state of hysterical coma. So these are some of the differential diagnoses. How to distinguish them from opium and morphine or from each other, that we will study in in detail one after other. So cerebrovascular accident, it is generally in case of elderly with history of maybe rise in blood pressure. If the patient is having history of hypertension or uncontrolled hypertension, there are more chances of hemorrhage or intracranial hemorrhage. The abrupt onset will be abrupt with hemiplegia, means all the four limbs might not have been paralyzed, or depending upon which part of the brain has been affected or the blood supply of which part of the brain has been affected, accordingly patient will have hemiplegia. Hemiplegia means paralysis of only one side of the body. There will be rise in blood pressure. The pupils will be unequal means again only one part of the brain has been affected, so other pupil may be normal and other is not adequately or normally reacting to the light. So there will be increased body temperature due to stimulation of heat regulating center which is located in the third ventricle. So now just I told you, depending upon which part of the brain has been affected by this cerebrovascular accident, or what we call in simple words as stroke, accordingly the clinical features will be there. Then metabolic coma, because of coma due to some metabolic disorders like uremia. What will happen in uremia or uremic coma? Breath will have uriniferous smell, that characteristic uriniferous smell will be there, and patient will have history of some renal failure or history of kidney disease, and also there will be cardiac symptom. Diabetic coma, in diabetic coma there will be sweetish and disagreeable odor from the mouth or from the breath, and patient will have episodes of rapid respirations, what we call it as air hunger or gasping. Alcohol poisoning, just I told you, there will be characteristics smell of alcohol from the breath, pupils are dilated. Very important distinguishing feature. Opium and in what we call organophosphorus poisoning, pupils are constricted, but in case of alcohol poisoning pupils are dilated. Massive sign that I will explain when we will study alcohol poison, and there will not be paralysis. There will not be paralysis of limbs. Carbolic acid poisoning, there will be characteristic smell of carbolic acid from the breath and stained patches of lips and mouth, and urine will be green, what we call it as carboluria. Organophosphorus poison, there will be frothing from the mouth, kerosene like or garlic smell, and pupils are constricted or pinpoint pupils. These are the characteristics of organophosphorus. So you should, when any unconscious patient has been brought to you, you should first clinically distinguish between opium poisoning or morphine poisoning and any of these conditions which can lead to unconsciousness. In some cases you may even need to perform some basic investigation. Now, what is the fatal dose? What is the fatal dose of opium and morphine? In case of non-addict, the person who has taken the opium first time, 200 milligram morphine is dangerous. 200 milligram morphine will be enough to kill a person who is not addict to opium. Why I am using this term addict or non-addict? Because opium is sometimes, or the morphine is in some patients it is used for analgesia for long periods, or even for its sedative effects. That's why the person can be addicted to it. So even the large doses will not cause any harmful effect, but the person who is addicted to opium is not addicted to opium will require 200 milligram of morphine, and in case of addicted person that dose will be very small. In case of addicted person, large dose will be required for death, or fatal dose will be very large because of the habituation, or what we call it as addicted person. And 10 ml of pure tincture of pure opium, hardly 10 ml will be required for the death of a average size person. Fatal period is around 45 minutes. So patient will pass through the 3 stages and will go into coma and will die within 45 minutes. Treatment, even if the patient is in coma, treatment should be done with patience. अगदी आता बेशुद्ध अनकॉन्शियस पेशंट आहे, कोमामध्ये पेशंट आहे, म्हणजे लगेच पॅनिक होऊन असं पटापटा काहीतरी ॲग्रेसिव्ह ट्रीटमेंट देण्याची गरज नाही. द डॉक्टर हॅज टू बी व्हेरी पेशंट. अँड द पेशंट इन कोमा शुड बी ट्रीटेड विथ ग्रेट पेशन्स अँड कामनेस. इफ द ओपीएम हॅज जस्ट बीन स्वॅलोड, नुकतंच मॉर्फिनच्या गोळ्या खाल्लेल्या असतील, emetics can be given, but vomiting center will be soon depressed by opium, and that's why you can go for gastric lavage. Stomach wash is to be done with water first, then you can go for the stomach wash. You can go for the stomach wash with potassium permanganate solution, 1:1000. Potassium permanganate solution is to be used because the potassium permanganate will cause oxidization of the opium to the harmless compounds. Opium will be oxidized to the harmless compound by chemical reaction with potassium permanganate. If opium has been given by injection, then also stomach wash should be given, because opium is excreted in stomach. It will circulate through the systemic circulation and will be excreted in the stomach. That's why even though the opium or the morphine has been taken over by injection, stomach wash is advised. If potassium permanganate is not available, the stomach wash can be given with tannic acid or the mixture of finely powdered animal charcoal and water. So tannic acid can also be used, because opium is causing suppression of the higher centers. Tannic acid will cause stimulation of the centers. Then enema to clean the intestine, to remove the unabsorbed poison from the intestine. Enema can also be given, and kidneys and skin are to be stimulated for excretion of the poison. So you will have to go for plenty of IV fluid, so that patient will pass more and more amount of urine, and along with the urine, large amount of opium will be excreted through urine. So kidneys and skin are to be stimulated for excretion. Then narcotic antagonistic. Now all these are allopathic medicines, I will not go in detail with that. So nalorphine and amifenazone, they will cause rapid reversal of the respiratory depression. We have seen in the clinical feature, respiratory center might have been paralyzed, or respiratory muscles might have been suppressed or paralyzed, because of which the patient is not able to respire. So you will have to go for nalorphine. Nalorphine is specific antidote to morphine and the opium alkaloids. I will not go into detail of the dose. Then amifenazone is to be given intramuscularly. Nalorphine is only partial antagonistic, and it may cause mania and euphoria, and nowadays naloxone is used instead of nalorphine. Naloxone is used widely and effectively. So naloxone is a pure antagonist. It doesn't produce respiratory depression. It doesn't produce respiratory depression. And body warmth. Now in general, treatment in general, body warmth is to be maintained, because we have seen patient is having profuse perspiration, body is cold, so body warmth is to be maintained. We will have to keep the patient wrapped up in the blanket. Hot coffee or tea can be given as stimulant. If the patient is conscious, you can go for hot coffee or tea, it will act as a stimulant. In early stage, patient is kept awake by making him walk. सारखं पेशंटशी बोलत राहा, त्याला आजूबाजूला थोडंसं चालायला लावा, बेडजवळ झोपून देऊ नका पेशंटला. सो इन अर्ली स्टेज पेशंट इज टू बी केप्ट अवेक बाय मेकिंग हिम वॉक अँड कीप टॉकिंग विथ हिम. 5% of glucose can be given to combat the shock. Then nicotinamide IV, it is a stimulant to respiratory and circulatory system. Artificial respiration may be required because of respiratory muscle paralysis. Our patient is having difficulty in breathing, so you may need the artificial respiration. You may need to intubate the patient. Endotracheal intubation is to be done and oxygen is to be given. Antibiotics, because the patient has been admitted in the hospital, to prevent the hospital acquired infection, immediately the patient has been admitted, go for antibiotics. The treatment to be continued till the patient become conscious, and even after that high care must be taken. And recovery is common if the patient survives 24 hours. म्हणजे पहिल्या 24 तासामध्ये जर पेशंटच्या जीविताला काही धोका झाला नाही, the recovery is likely. So recovery is common if the patient survives for 24 hours. Post-mortem appearance. Externally there will be smell of opium. Face is deeply cyanosed and black. We have seen in the post-mortem lividity. The color of the post-mortem lividity is black in case of opium and morphine. Face is also deeply cyanosed and it is black in color, characteristic feature of opium poisoning. Face is deeply cyanosed and black. Fingernails are blue because of failing circulation. Veins in the neck are distended and engorged. And post-mortem, just I told you, post-mortem lividity is intense and black, and there will be frothing from the mouth. Now internally, trachea, bronchi, lungs and brain, they will show the changes of congestion. There will be venous congestion, large amount of venous blood will get congested there or will get accumulated. Trachea and bronchi are filled with froth, and there will be edematous lungs. Lungs will show the edema, and blood is dark and more fluid. There will be intense lividity of the face, that is black, is rarely seen in any other poison. That is the characteristic of opium and morphine, that in case of opium poison, the face is dark black, intense lividity on the face which is black colored, rarely seen in any other poisons. Now lastly, medico-legal aspect. What is the medico-legal aspect of opium and morphine? Now just we have seen in the introduction, opium and its preparations are used widely in the field of therapeutics to relieve the pain and to induce the sleep. झोप येण्यासाठी आणि पेन रिलीव्ह करण्यासाठी morphine is used very commonly. That's why it is easily available in India or in the pharmacist, in the medical shops and all. So it is the poison of choice for suicide. We have seen a poison of choice for homicide. What is that? Arsenic. Arsenic is the ideal homicidal poison because its fatal dose is small. It is having tasteless, odorless, can be easily given mixed with the food, coffee, juice and all. And its fatal period is also long. And exactly opposite to that, opium is the poison of choice for suicide. So it can be asked as a 2-mark question. The characteristic of ideal suicidal poison, म्हणजे आत्महत्या करण्यासाठी, सुसाईड करण्यासाठी ओपियम किंवा मॉर्फिन का वापरलं जातं? So because it is having painless death. Dose is small, dose is orally, तोंडाने सहजासहजी घेतल्या जाऊ शकतात ओपियमच्या किंवा मॉर्फिनच्या गोळ्या. So its dose is oral, easily available, oral dose. Then painless death, because patient will become unconscious, will go into coma and will die. So there will not be any pain as such. So because of all its characteristic, it is the suicidal poison of choice. So it is the ideal suicidal poison. Opium mixed with the mustard oil or